Why are you pregnant? Why are you pregnant? This is 2025 and you are having unwanted pregnancy by this time. Why? Who has Igwe's glow number? We have to call Igwe for you. Hi guys, I'm Dr. Evie and you're welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about health, beauty and lifestyle. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Today's video is about how to prevent pregnancies. Hey, Mr. Man, sit down there. Sit down there. You've had pregnancy, you want to leave. You are the culprits. Because of you, we are getting pregnant. So sit down. You're going to watch this video, okay? Sit down. Sit down and share the video too. Thank you. Globally, unwanted pregnancy makes up about 45% of all pregnancies, meaning 45% of pregnancies are actually unwanted. That's crazy. And about 6 out of 10 of these unwanted pregnancies end up in abortion, according to WHO. You should only get pregnant when you are financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually capable of raising a child. That's the only reason you should get pregnant. Okay, so if you're not ready, don't get pregnant. So I'll be teaching you the ways to prevent pregnancies. There are several options. So if you want to learn, stick around. There are four main ways of contraception. We have the natural method, the barrier method, the hormonal method, and the surgical method. It's easy. Relax. Do like this. Relax. Okay. Starting off, we'll start off with the barrier, with the natural method. The natural method consists of natural things that you can do to prevent pregnancies. Like number one, the calendar method. Now, this works best for people that have regular cycle length. You know, oh, I usually ovulate on the 14th day of my cycle. So 2 days before the 14th, 2 days after the 14th, is your fertile period. You're not going to mate in this period, right? So that's how you prevent pregnancies. There's also the Billings method, which involves you checking your cervical mucus. We have discharge, coming from our cervix, right? So every month, depending on the cycle, the phase of your menstrual cycle, your cervical secretion changes. Now, if you're ovulating, it becomes thinner. It's like egg white. It's more fluid. It's slippery. This will help the sperm to pass freely. Next is the basal body temperature. I don't know how you're going to do it, but it involves you taking your temperature every morning when you wake up. So you take it over a period of 6 months to know your average temperature. You can take it from your mouth, from your vagina, or from your anus. So you calculate your baseline temperature. If there's a rise in that temperature, oh, it's like I'm ovulating, right? It is not so easy, all right? So, but if that's your thing and you're confident in your body, fine. Next, we have the lactational amenorrhea. It's common knowledge that when people are breastfeeding, when women are breastfeeding, they don't measure it. However, it's not absolute. It's not for everybody. There are women that they're breastfeeding and they're menstruating and they can actually get pregnant. But other women, when you're breastfeeding, there's no menstruation, so there's no ovulation. Okay, so you can use that and be like, oh, she's breastfeeding. She might not get pregnant, but when you get pregnant, don't call for me, don't come for me. Lastly, for the natural method is the precedent general among the nations. This is the withdrawal method. Your boyfriend is going to lie to you, or your husband actually, because you should not be having sex if you're not married. Okay. So they are going to lie to you and say, my pull out game is strong. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That is a lie. They want to trap you. Run. Run. On a more serious note, there's something called pre-ejaculation, right? The fluid that comes before the main ejaculates. So now, most times, this fluid contains some sperm cells. You might think it's just, I've not really ejaculated, but there's something that's actually come out of you that contains sperm cells that are very active and they can get you pregnant. Okay, so withdrawal method. Mm. Moving on to the next type of contraception is the barrier methods. Now we have the popular condoms, there's the male condom and there's the female condom. If you've never seen a female condom, here you go. So, but the most commonly used is the male condom, prevents the semen, sperm from entering the vagina. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to explain more than that. Okay. So they just create a barrier, a blockade between these two, secretions. We have the diaphragm. This is like a cup, to plug the cervix. We have the vagina sponge again to plug the vagina, IUCD, the non-hormonal IUCD. Inserted into the uterus and prevents sperm from moving into the uterus. There are some disadvantages to it. Some people say, especially for the condoms, it becomes hot. It can become hot if you're not using the right size. It can become hot. It reduces sensation. Some people say, "Oh, I can't feel it." Please do not listen to the. I'm telling you, listen to me. Okay, listen to me. I will not lie to you. He's a liar. He's a liar. He wants to get. He wants to trap you. Okay, don't listen to. Don't fall for them. However, there can be also times that the condom can break. So whenever you have that kind of, incident or situation, that's when emergency contraception comes in. We'll get to that. Okay. Some of all this insertion, like the diaphragm, the cervical cup, it might be a bit uncomfortable to plug in. So people don't really want to use it. So whichever one is comfortable for you, go for it. Okay, there are several options as you can see. Now to the main, it's not really the main, but it's just a bit more technical, is the hormonal contraception. Now these are, similar steroids like the ones found in the human body. They are similar to the estrogen, the progesterone, and they act to inhibit ovulation, taking the cervical mucus, shrink the uterus, all in a bid to prevent pregnancies, right? They come in different forms. There's the oral form, the injectables, the implants, and other devices. Oral hormonal contraceptive, we have what we popularly call the pill. We have the combined oral contraceptive pill, which contains both estrogen and progesterone. Now, this is taken every day, the same time of the day. It's usually in the morning for 3 weeks. Then you have 1 week break to have your normal menstrual flow. Easy peasy. It's easy to use. You just pop a pill. It's reversible. When you stop the pill, you go back to normal. Reduces measure pain, reduces high measure flow. It regulates measure cycle, especially for people with PCOS. It helps to regulate your measure cycle and all. However, it cannot be used if you are hypertensive, you are diabetic, you have history of stroke, you're obese, you're greater than 35 years of age. You might want to speak to your doctor before you use this. In fact, for all contraceptives, speak to your doctor before you use it. It can cause weight gain, breast pain, and sometimes it can cause amenorrhea. You won't see your period. Each contraceptive has its pros and its cons. Now, for the injectables, we have the Depo-Provera. I'm just going to be listing the brands because, you know, this is the medical name. If you can pronounce it, kudos. So we have the Depo-Provera, which is usually taken every 3 months or every 6 months, depending on the dosage. We also have the Novostat, that's taken every 2 months. All these containing hormones that can help you prevent pregnancies, reduce measure pain, measure bleeding, helps to reduce pelvic inflammatory diseases or endometriosis, and reduce the risk for endometrial cancer. So the disadvantages include breakthrough bleeding, where you just bleed from nowhere. There is delayed return of fertility. So when you stop the drug, it takes a while for your body to regulate. Weight gain. It can also cause reduced bone density, meaning your bone becomes softer. That's for prolonged use, though. Another form of contraceptive is the implants. You all know most of our mothers use this because of the long duration of action. So they have like two main types. We have the implanon, the no plan. So depending on your preference, rods are taken and put in the inner aspect of your arm. Dr. Evie, the inner aspect of your arm, upper arm, somewhere around here. And it's just, with a little incision, just little cuts to put it and just stitch it back. Nothing so serious. You won't feel any pain in an ideal situation. It's long lasting. You can just leave it there for years and you'll not be bothered by it. Easily reversible. When you remove it, your fertility comes back immediately. Just general, little side effects thereabouts. But this is one of the trusted contraceptive methods out there. Another form of hormonal contraception is the transdermal patch. Now, these are patches you can see that you just attach on your body, usually on your arm or your tummy or your buttocks, and it protects you from pregnancy. Simple. So you use one patch per week. So you have one patch every week for 3 weeks. You take it out to have your normal bleeding, measure bleeding. After for 1 week, then you replace it again. Easy. You can use it to bathe. You can use it to exercise. You can use it to do anything. It's just a patch. Boom. Lastly, for the hormonal contraceptive, we have the vagina ring. Now, it is a ring that's inserted into the vagina and it releases hormones that help you prevent pregnancies. It might be a bit uncomfortable to put in, just a little bit uncomfortable. You have to keep it in for 3 weeks and take it out after a week. So if you're comfortable with, going up there, every 3 weeks, that's fine. The last method of contraception, this is the surgical method where we have the tubal ligation, the vasectomy, or the hysterectomy. Tubal ligation simply means cutting off the fallopian tube and tying it. So there is no passage of eggs, there's no meats and greats of eggs and sperm, right? So that's usually advice for people that have completed their family size, women that are okay with the number of children that they have, or people that just decide not to have kids. There's also hysterectomy. This is the total removal of the uterus. Once the uterus is gone, the uterus is the womb. Once the womb is gone, you can't get pregnant. You can't carry a baby. For people that have completed their cycle, they have history of endometrial cancer, you might want to go that route. Lastly, there is the vasectomy. I'm overjoyed with this. This is for the men. It's just, cutting the tube that takes the semen from the testes. You just cut it off and tie it. So you're free. No sperm. I mean, if the man has completed his family size and, he does not want to have any more children, he can go for this. This will save us the stress of having to take pills and having side effects and all that, right? And there's new innovation of having male implants and male contraceptive pills. I can't wait for that to happen when men have to actually sit down and take pills to prevent pregnancy. It'll be a dream come true. Anywho, there is also emergency contraception. It can be for incidents where we forget to take our pills, or we have the condom slip or condom breakage, or in cases of assaults and you just need emergency contraception. It can be pills like your Postino 1, Postino 2, Ella 1, or devices like your IUD to help to prevent pregnancies. Note that these emergency contraceptives are not to be popped in like vitamins and supplements. Okay, after every sex you pop it in. No, you should have a normal standard contraception in place, and this should be used in cases of emergency. Okay, they are not vitamin C. Okay, thank you very much. I would always advise you to see your doctor. Contraception is a broad topic, right? You can't just go there and pick something. What if you have hypertension? What if you're diabetic? What if you are even allergic to some of the materials in the contraception? So when you see your doctor, he or she will be able to advise you, counsel you based on your age, your weight, your family size, or just your preference, and guide you to make an informed decision. With all this information, I hope I won't be seeing you in antenatal clinic unless you're ready. If I catch you in antenatal clinic and you are not ready to have a baby, anyway, I hope you learned something from this video, and let me know in the comments if you have questions. Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, abstain. Abstinence is the best way to prevent pregnancies. Okay, I love you. Mwah.